Just an applause, yeah, indeed. I would like to give the floor to Bill Hynes for the short introduction, 5 minutes introduction. Bill, if you are okay, and then I will give the floor to Tom.
Thank you very much, Philippe, and thank you, everybody. Really excellent presentation so far, and ties very well in with our new Peers project. So Peers, the Peers project is looking at the practice of ecosystems for standards, and the project has just started in this month, so November 2022, and it's a 3-year project. So we're really excited about building on our previous work and really making an impact through our peers. I suppose the principal objectives of the project, we have kind of 3 main objectives, aims of the project. First is to advance and reinforce existing policy, particularly through practitioner-driven standard processes. So really bring in the kind of the practitioner-driven processes to the forum here. It also aims to support the effective strengthening of preparedness and response in the fields of disaster risk resilience and CBRN, again through standardization. And then finally, it bringing through an ecosystems approach. It really wants to focus on policymakers, societal stakeholder standardization, and industry stakeholder engagement, strengthening the European resilience from all hazards, again, through this engagement process and through this consultation space. So again, it's bringing together the policymakers, the practitioners, and the standardization developers, and building on and supported by enablers such as technology, existing technology, building on that technology, and bringing in then expertise-based governance systems. So we're, again, as I said, very much looking forward to the development and rollout of the Peers project. We've got an excellent consortium, and we're actually having our kickoff meeting, our formal kickoff meeting in Brussels in 2 weeks' time. So again, very much looking forward to that process. And I'd just like to hand you over to Tom then. And thank you again very much, Philippe, for allowing us for that introduction.
Thank you, Bill. Please invite me to your kickoff meeting.
Yeah, we definitely will. Absolutely.
Well, I would like to stress that while Tom is coming to present, that this project I've initiated this topic for a very clear reason, that I would like to ensure that future standardization-related research, when we are dealing with research programming, are being filtered by policymakers and practitioners. We have a limited budget. I don't want to put money in standardization-related activities that will be too dispersed to fail in being used at the end of the process. So next, I will try, before I will leave, I will try to impulse such dynamics within the program that when we are earmarking a standardization research project, it has been first validated by practitioners and policymakers, and we are sure that it will follow a process that will make it used at the end of the process. Do I summarize the thing properly, Tom? Please, your presentation. Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? I guess so. Tom Flynn. I'm very much involved in the Peers project and actually wrote a proposal with many people. I got many colleagues here, which I very briefly introduced you to John Hall. I got Bertrice. We got Sultan, we got Paul, and we're here not just to give you a presentation, but we're here to talk to you after this takes place. So we want to talk to you. I'm going to go to the next slide very briefly, and it's may I go to the next slide? So I had to click. Oh, so probably I thought it was somebody else doing it. Okay, apologies. To continue what we're doing, we will have an event in Delft. One of the things that we want to do is not listen so much to standardization people. We want to listen to practitioners. We want to get to people who really know what are the issues out there. So one of the things that we know is that by dealing with, like CEN and on CEN TC391, which is to do with citizen science and security, we don't have enough experts. We have a lot of standards people, but we don't have enough experts. And yet, when you think of standardization bodies, you actually think of they know. In fact, perhaps they don't. It's actually the people on the field know, and we need to get them more involved and go from there. So this is like an event taking place, as I say, on the 30th of the 11th, and we want to get people involved. And that's standardization people. We want to get the right people involved. If we go to the next slide, please. Oh, sorry, apologies. Okay, so this is an issue I want to talk to you about. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this slide. I think it's important. Billy has already briefly introduced you to peers, so I skipped some slides. We're going forward. Some perceived issues, and let me just turn this slightly because I can talk to you better that way. Let's go to number 3. I somehow missed number 2. And we have an issue with called fragmentation. And what happens with fragmentation is that existing standards are there. So here you can see the example, ISO 1000, 22300, and it's called Citizen Cyber Security. And then along came a thing called CWA, 17335, and it created its own version of something that's already there. Now, what is the point of reinventing wheels and causing confusion? Because the standard is there, and somehow we've allowed, through a CWA, a redefinition of terminologies to come into it. This is totally wrong. And what is the issue? The issue is that it gets into the market. It's sold by standards people who are basically publishers, and they sell these CWAs. It hasn't gone to a TC, but it's out there. So today, even though fragmentation is there, it's still available to buy these CWA documents. So why? So there's a problem. We should not allow fragmentation to get into the field. And what field are we talking about? Public safety and security. Yet we're allowing new terminologies to somehow creep into the system. And what's the cost of that to the real field? We don't know yet. But clearly, when you buy from a standards body, a CWA, you think it's got some kind of level of authority. You don't. A CWA is purely a working document. It came from a project, most probably from a European project, because that's where most of them come from, and it's there. It has not been approved by the appropriate technical committee whatsoever. So we have created fragmentation, and we have to stop it. And I'm saying to the European Commission, Philippe, I hope you listen to this one, we do not stop CWAs, because they may be relevant. But what we do is that before it goes to the process of being developed, we check, is there already a standard out there which is saying terminology, which is the example up there I'm using? If it is, well, no, you're not going to create a CWA, because we've already got the standard. So all you're doing is adding confusion to the field. And confusion to the field could mean, and I hate to say this, it could have serious consequences. We're dealing with public safety and security. So no, we need extra checks in place before it goes through. So this is the first thing I'm going to say to you in this specific point. We go to the number 4. It should be number 3, but we'll go to number 4. And what does this say? It says it's a rapid way to standardization. No, it's not. When is the last CWA has become a standard? Probably hasn't existed for ages. So they're selling it as a CWA. And remember the word publication, because standards people are basically publishers. They publish documents. They make money publishing documents. If you get onto the fragmentation one, which is listed there, CWA 17335, you can buy it now, even though there's already a standard up there for the same thing. But they're selling documents, and that's their job. They're facilitators and selling jobs. They are not experts. So this system is failing, and that's an issue. We have to stop this, and we have to start now on it. And if we don't stop it, because we're dealing with public safety and security, for God's sake, this has to stop. And I'm asking the European Commission, please intervene in a way that will stop fragmentation going forward. Because I don't believe, even though we have a sector security forum, and it's working and it's going forward, and they are now currently addressing it, because there's been a lot of kind of issues from TCs, because TCs want to work on a new security, but they're spending too much time on CWAs coming at them. They didn't ask for these CWAs. They came from EU projects, which were funded, and they look sexy in the proposal. But who the hell wants them? Who asked for them? Some people decide along the way, and they won their proposal, and hooray for that. So we have to think this through. CWAs can cause serious problems. And I'm asking people, please, today, listen to what I'm saying. We have a problem here. And I don't believe that even though the Sense Sector Forum are trying to make change, they have to go up to another level called the BT level, and these people make the decisions. So we can ask, but I'm not expecting much to happen. So I think we have to nip in the bud earlier, which brings us back to the European Commission. I'm sorry, I'm taking too much time and getting the roll on. Okay, so cost is also an issue. So pre-standardization costs a lot of money. So the people do the work, is the proposers, but unfortunately, it's the, or maybe fortunately, depending where you look at it, it is the Senate also, take a lot of money in the process as well. But the whole bulk of the work is done through the proposer. So that's a problem as well. And then we have the technical committees. They don't have enough time. They have limited get-togethers and so forth. They need to be working more in terms of standards on what's needed for security, and less time on CWAs. And in recent periods, there's been too much time being spent on CWAs. So what are they doing? They're actually looking at CDA saying, what the hell are we going to do with them? So no, they need to be spending more time on real security issues. And that's the point. Speeding it forward, because Philip gave me my warning, existing standards are not needed by the community. This came from the, Olga was here yesterday, this came from the Encircle project. There are standards out there that nobody really wants. They just came, and again, that's the issue. I think people driving it, perhaps there's too many an imbalance between those who understand the community out there and those who are the standards people. But don't quote me 100% on that one. That's something I believe is the case. And likewise, technology is moving faster than what standards can keep up. So we've got all those kind of problems. So that's that part. Oh yes, I'm pressing the buttons. So one of the wonderful things that I mentioned, I'm going to move as quickly as I possibly can now, because Billy gave an introduction. This is the most important thing that I've seen in a long time. And I quote, promotion and application of common standards across sectors can contribute to cost savings. Wow, that was really good. In terms of production, running costs, cost management, operation effectiveness, and enhancing interoperability. So standards can contribute to cost savings in terms of production and cost management. So whoever wrote that, either they were super informed of what's really going on, or they had too much Guinness the night beforehand. So I think it's spot on. We do. Standards can contribute to cost savings, and we have to look at the whole business of standardization from a different perspective. So we're developing a thing called a Better Practices Guide initiative. This will sit very much so in the area of pre-standardization. It is not a standard. It is nothing to do with the sense of standardization, but it will allow the practitioners to define their deliverables, their documents that mean to them in a way that works for them. So the whole thing is practitioner driven, and Billy mentioned the whole purpose of this. So this initiative will sit very much so in the pre-standardization area. It will not be a standard. It will be known as that it's been a standard, but it will be there. And the practitioners who believe in it will use those things, and they can reference them and apply them, but they will be known as more so as better practice guide documents. I'm going fast now, apologies for this. It's going to use an open model. The present one, which is often called a pre-standardized action, the CWA, that's a closed model. We're going quite the opposite way. We want practitioners to take control where they are going to help reduce cost. So this whole mechanism will come in place to try to change the whole perspective and dynamics of the thing called as standardization. This is a change that's going down now, and peers will be part of that revolution and movement that's going in this stage. The peers project, I am jumping through this so quickly. Thank you, Billy. Okay, but I want to stop here in this area, this slide very quickly. This is give you an illustration of what it might look like. Is what we're working on. You can see we have an ecosystem in place where we have platforms, an e-learning tool. We're going to use the knowledge from the Encircle and also from the No Fear, the Better Practice Guide from that. There's a gamification details under, and Sultan, where is he? Be working on it. And as a project evolves, we're going to bring more projects. Likewise, we are using a foresight engagement process, and I won't go into too much detail on this. But we're not saying what's needed. We're talking, we're listening, we're engaging, we're going at policy level, we're going at practitioner level, we're talking to the real people that matter, and we're including standardization there. And we'll go through 3 phases of the overall platform to make sure that it works. Why? Because our ethos is not about developing technology or solutions. Our ethos is about having a solution at the very end that's sustainable and marketable, and people want it. So we're looking at this whole Pierce project from a business context. So I'll go to the next quick. This is the method: knowledge, define, show, evaluate, circle. And then we're going to go, oh yeah, this is the one I really love. You got data, you got information, you got a knowledge. We'll bring it together. Billy very quickly try to explain it to you. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but yes, we will have data. Yes, we will develop information. Yes, we'll have knowledge. And somehow we're going to give insights. So whether you're a policy person leading that level, or whether you're a practitioner, you can view it from the way that works for you. And you will save money. Why? Because perhaps my new project, if I'm, say, working for the Ministry of Interior, will say, well, we want to do this new project. Oh, by the way, by getting on this platform, we can see half of what is already available. We just need to be able to connect to it. And that will reduce our starting costs. So rather than being a project of $1 million, we may be able to reduce it to $500,000. Why? Because the information of what we need is already out there. It's done, and we can use part of it. Our task might be more an integration process. So we're saving money. Saving money is very much making production work, and that is exactly in line with Article 6 we talked about. So you get insight, and the last one is wisdom. Well, I can't say POs, but wisdom, but all due respect, Philip, I'm joking here. But we may think about artificial intelligence at a later stage. it was just a joke. Don't take it personally, Philip. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the team which will talk to you. So Billy's online. I'm going to take some names. Bertrice, where are you? There below. So please talk to Bertrice. Where's John Hall? John, there he is, there at this stage, and we're going to move on. And who else we have? We have Sultan as well. Okay, so these are the people here to talk to you. So please, guys, I mean, after the session's over, you come talk to me by all means, but talk to the others about this project. This is the details. I skipped that. I skipped this, but one thing I will say, because we're running out of time, Philip, I'm sorry for this, but ownership, sustainability, maintainability are critically important. So we're not going into this project it's a technical project we're going to do. No. We're looking from a business perspective. We want to have a solution at the very end that's marketable and people want to buy it. Where do we start from? I'm going to have to rush for it. I know you're giving me these dirty looks. Give me just 2 more minutes, please. I wasn't expecting it. Just bear with me. We had to go through the process. Where are we going to start? Now, this is the one I'm going to kind of stop for a little bit. This is our thinking. We want to put in place a revenue stream right from the beginning. So the ethos of the project is not about purely technology. It's about the model that's going to work by the end of it. And it's a cost, it's a co-creation. We have all these kind of activities kind of going on to make sure we're working. So please, this is part of what we're thinking about. It is not about just the technology. It's a solution at the very end that people want. Oh, God almighty, there's so much screens I've got to go through. So do we take a big bound? As Billy said on the screen, thank you, Billy. We start on the 1st of November. We have our first kickoff meeting taking place on the 21st and the 22nd of November. I skipped through some screens. I skipped through this. I know I'm running out of time. I think you could pick up where we're going. Yes, this is what I'm going to stop to. So if I was a first responder, I'd be able to come to this portal to give you an example, and I can determine, where I want to go. And this capability of the overall ecosystem will tell me where I can go, and I can see what devices are out there. I can see what research projects will work for me. I can see what standards are going to be applicable to me, and I bring it all together in a way that works for me, the real practitioner. So there's a challenge here as well. Likewise, so you can see just an example here: what standards are relevant for me, what EU projects, who do I contact, devices, and so the person involved there, what I call the bomb squad, will know exactly what's going on. That saves time, effort, and money by knowing where we're going to go to. And the last screen, I better stop. No need to reinvent the wheel. Thank you very much. This is crew. Skip that. Policymakers, likewise, we've got to make sure it works at their level. So I am running through this quickly because I'm getting these dirty looks again. Okay, I'll stop it there. This is me, last screen. Thank you all very much. Available for questions now. And Sean, I hope you're okay. I hope you enjoy that. Thank you. She's on screen. He's on screen. Sorry.
Thank you very much, John. Well, you are so emotional that you want to say everything in 20 minutes. So, well, I would like to say that It's a very, very delicate topic, and we have to be very careful in not raising conflicting issue. I know that you had some difficulties in the past. We should not throw the baby with the water of the bath. So Seine workshop agreement are not necessarily bad. The issue is the multiplication of I would say unfiltered Seine workshop agreement, which creates a problem. So what, again, I'm stressing again that Seine workshop agreement can fill in a clear role when they are indeed agreed and validated by practitioners and policymakers. It's what you are mostly saying. But don't say, well, there is no black and white. You know that. There is absolutely no black and white. So I would like to say that in some cases, and it's what you stress here, standardization is not a response. Standardization, I would say that EN or ISO standardization is not the response in the security area, because in many instances you have classified components, so you can't enter into standardization. So here we speak, it's why the topics which led to peers spoke about standardized and harmonized procedures. Harmonized is nothing to do with standardization. Well, it's nothing to do. You have the same process in terms of agreeing to a tool, a method, or whatever, but it will not be formal standard. It will fill in the needs for a certain sector that agree to use this harmonized protocol. And this can be classified as soon as the people who have developed this harmonized protocol have the need to know and have the habilitation to discuss about classified components. And you can achieve this work in a different manner than in formal standardization. So I think it's something that we need to discuss in depth. This is not a forum to do that, because this forum is very, very quick information exchange. It's about networking. I would like to see in-depth discussions over 1 or 2 days next year with the projects which are involved in standardization. And then we speak card on the table, but we do it taking time, with no emotion.
There's no motion here, Philip, on my behalf, but I understand. May I say one thing as well? Though we talk about CWAs, that's fine. Seine-elect do not allow CWAs into their arena. So that's something to bear in mind. Somehow in Seine we do, right? Now, my only issue is not, by all means, do your CWAs if you want them, but not allow fragmentation get in, and that's the point.
No,
we do not want fragmentation, and that's what we are.
Yeah. It's why I speak about multiplication is dangerous, not the tool as such. It's the multiplication, uncontrolled multiplication. Do you have any reaction, question, please? Don't make it too heavy, because it's the end of 4 days meeting. I'm not patient enough to deal with heavy questions.
I just have a comment, sir, if you accept to me. I thank you very much for your good presentation, and I just want to highlight a point which you said, that it is not together. I mean, with my respect of all people who are doing in offices, universities, research, and as I am an evaluation expert, I think it's very, very important to do these jobs together in the office and in the field together with the expert, with the end user, and with all these things. Then you will have the results. If you work alone in the office or in the university for research, then you will find out when it's go to the field that there's a lot of things missed, or it's not useful to be used. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Tom. Sorry. John, thank you as well. Yeah, well, you deserve an applause, John, because you know that he has been behind all the work on registration. Thank you very much. Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will now close this meeting just in time. We will not have a project to policy session because, well, we cannot arrange that. So consider that it is the end of a 4 days marathon. It has been very, very rich in terms of exchanges. I would like to stress that soon we will be discussing an agenda which will be certainly for series, which will be a little bit tailor-made. And I would like to rely on what I've heard during these 4 days. I've seen a lot of very, very concrete exchanges among projects via the clusters that you have been forming. And I found that very, very valuable. What I would hope is that this kind of event, I like it very much, but it should not be held more than once a year. It is something where we meet to network. We have exchange of information which are not going in depth because we don't have time to do that. We have exchanges, human exchanges. We have good times, good wine, good food, and so on. This is why we are here. And for me, it's a fantastic forum to hear what are doing 30 projects in a very, very horizontal way. I do not need more than that. If I need to have more, I know where to find you. So I will contact you. So this is really something to be done to put back the human dimension into our work. And we did that. I'm pretty sure that we did that. Now, next year, there will be this kind of event will be scheduled at the end of the year, certainly. But in the meantime, I would really strongly value, and I will come back to you, I will strongly value that in each of the sub-thematic area of DRS, and I speak here about societal resilience, I speak about technologies for first responders, standardization, CBRN, maybe health, maybe integrated disaster management. Each, in fact, areas of the call be gathering projects which are relevant to discuss in depth, and you organize that. You are the ambassadors for series under clusters to organize things wherever you want. You do not need to come back to Brussels. You are most welcome to do it in Brussels, but it can be everywhere. And not multiplying the meetings, but having in-depth discussions in the framework of these different sub-areas. And here, I think that this type of discussion here, it's a little bit frustrating because we don't have time really to exchange, concretely exchange. Here we will take the time to really go in depth in the discussion. So it's my offer. We will have discussions about the agenda with my colleagues because we are in series. We have different thematic areas. You know, you have DRS, FCT, border management, SSRI, and we have also infra, which is infrastructure, which is also ongoing. We need to fine-tune our views. I'm a little bit of free electron sometimes. So I'm dealing with this I would say dynamics which may not be the same as FCT for a number of reasons, because we are not the same. We do not have the same moving feature, and it's true that sometimes it may be a little bit exotic, but it works. It works, and it has been. This is here because in 8 years ago there were a bunch of crazy people that followed me to develop the community of users. And now it's something which is quite effective and recognized. So, and it is thanks to you. It's thanks to your trust. It's thanks to your the way you have agreed to exchange expertise and so on. And this is deeply human. So I would like to thank you very much. I would like to thank John as well, the team of BAO, which is also very effective and improving also after all the meetings, you know. So it's very good to see. And I would like also to stress that next year, there are some new items that I would like to push, and one of them is to see how we can involve a little bit better city elected people. That is, people in the cities who are dealing with risk management, who are elected. For example, it can be deputy mayor of a city. I have discussed with some of them, telling me that they are completely disconnected from the scientific community. I don't speak about the people who are working in professional, I would say, risk management structure in the cities. I speak about elected people who have the responsibility. They are not here. And I would like, if you have some recommendations, because there will be a workshop at the beginning of May, where I would like to gather elected people from different European cities, practitioners and the scientific community. So your projects that will be considered relevant, I would like you to come to Toulouse. It will be in Toulouse, in France, at the beginning of May. If you have some people in your projects as partner who are indeed very close to this city risk management, I would very strongly value this information because I will need to figure out. So this is one thing. Second thing is, and I thank very much Hynes to be here for the Forehand project. My dream is that we series would liaise with national initiative. And Hynes is dealing with Forehand. There is a poster here. If you want to discuss with him, take the advantage he's still here today. I would like next year to have a workshop on seeing how we could link national initiative altogether. Not, you know, I did the mistake in thinking that series could have a kind of facilitating and even funding some links among national initiative. It was not well perceived and I didn't understand why. And after some time I understood why, because we are here speaking about a kind of sense of sovereignty. And the member states do not want necessarily that the Commission is controlling their activities, which is fully understandable. But we can do it on another approach. We can do it bottom up. We can say, we have Forehand, we have the Spanish community of users, we have activities in Austria, in France, and so on. Let's meet together. What are you doing? What can you share? What is your approach? And what is your, I would say, advantages to belonging to the series, getting information, and sending us your feedback. And for us, it will be an invaluable source of information because we need to have input for our research programming. So it's something that also will come in the picture, which is not related exactly to one of our sub-thematic groups. But we are well on the way. And I think that what you have shown during these 4 days, it's really amazing. So I thank you very much. And I wish you a very safe journey back home. And we obviously keep in touch. Thank you.